And and I don't think I will ever grow up. I can't imagine a day where I'll lose that. And for me, that's the sign of my life is over if I lose that excitement for life, that joy about seeing, watching, observing. If I lose that, then wow, that's the end of my but I can't ever imagine that happening. And so so that childlike fascination for the world, that curiosity, for me is the absolute key. And I guess that's what I'm really inviting people to tap into, because that's how you will learn. That's how you will start introspecting on the patterns that you have picked up, that is your modern day survival strategy. And you can then start to see, is this really genuinely helping me? Is this really connecting me to other people? Is this really connecting me to nature? Is this helping me to understand how the world works? Or is it actually masking my ability to see what's happening in the world? Is it kind of, an indoctrination that, someone else told me that this is how the world is, and therefore I somehow believe it. And I built all of my patterns around that philosophy but actually, let's break this down. Is that really how the world is? And once we start breaking that down and start seeing what is common between all of us, as opposed to what the modern day world tries to make us see the differences, and you're this color, you're that height, you've got this color eyes, therefore you are different, therefore I shouldn't trust you because you're not the same as me. And so what we're really, for me, really, for the world to move on is to go beyond that and to say, hey, look, let's have a look and celebrate what's common between us, rather than be fearful of the differences. And so these are the patterns that we deeply look at, and this is what sets the foundation for the permaculture course to be. And then the permaculture course, through that, we can now say, how do we apply that to food growing, to building houses, making energy, building cook stoves, really fuel efficient cook stoves? How do we make, say, electricity? I build pedal powered generators and sound systems. How do we make medicine? How do we make paint and arts and crafts materials? How do we make soap? How do we we can bring all of these in, and we can also apply it to human systems. So how do we make our livelihoods? How do we I don't know, how do we get this sense of purpose in life? How is it that we what are the things, so we can apply this permaculture patterns and principles and design methodology to meeting all of our human needs, and not just food growing. And for me, this is why this course is really, my favorite definition of permaculture, which wasn't said by me, it was said by a person called Mike Feingold. He said, permaculture is a revolution disguised as gardening. So people come into it thinking they're coming on a gardening course, but by the end of it, they see the world differently. I spend a lot of time talking about patterns. I spend a lot of time talking about patterns, and especially, if we look at the patterns of a tree, you can learn everything you need to learn about life and about what makes a good person. What are the good characteristics that we could employ that would really transform this world, just by studying the patterns of a tree. And so by the end of the course, people say, I can't just look at a tree and just, it's not a tree, and it's everything. It's a teacher. It is, wow, it's not a tree anymore. I can never see it just as, it's just a tree. I don't know what kind of tree. It's just a tree. No, it's full. It's a character. It's a teacher. It's a guide. It's a guru. It's and so so again, it's about really transforming how you see the world. And therefore, with that transformation, how you interact with the world, and therefore how you really make a deep, lasting difference to really make this world the most beautiful, amazing world that we know that it can be. That for me is permaculture.
Yes. and that will nurture you. So a lot of people are into gardening also for the beauty for it, but when they start growing, like a common thread is that they say, okay, I'm just investing in this garden. Like we mentioned, like it doesn't grow back, they have to regrow things, and but to actually build something that works natural, so it will nurture you and others, and yes, the healthy community approach as well.
And the other thing, the last thing that I can say also about, because, again, going back to the difference between technique and design, by teaching a good technique. So if I teach you how to do this in Bulgaria, it will not work in Athens. If I teach you
I'm
how
not
to
in
grow
Athens, I'm
something,
in a village in
good.
Greece now. I hope it's similar, but I understand what you're saying. I totally understood that you teach the whole thinking process of how to analyze what's in front of you,
Exactly.
how to make
So,
it nurture yourself, right?
so then when you do go to wherever, if you go to Cyprus, you can still apply this. If you go up to Scandinavia, you can still apply this principle. If you go to, wherever you go in the world, if you go to the tropics, you can still apply these principles. And
But not
because
the techniques
yes,
specific.
and then you have to see, well, which technique will work here. And so that's what I bring about. That's the main difference, I think, between the way in which I teach and many other people teach. Is many people, and unfortunately, because of how the world is, many people want to just learn techniques. Many people just no, just show me how to do it and I'll just do it. And I don't want to think, I don't want to work it out. I just show me the technique, give me the pattern, give me the secret. And for me, that's really unhelpful. It doesn't allow the person to really grow, because you just fill them with a technique that works here, and then you go next door and it won't work. And then when they try it next door, or on the other side of the slope, or maybe they've learnt it on this side of the slope, then they go to this side of the slope to try and put it into practice, and it doesn't work. And they say, oh, it's because I'm not good enough. It's me. I'm just useless. Yeah, the world has told me all my life I'm not good enough, and yeah, they're right, I'm just not good enough. And it leads to that kind of apathy and what have you. So for me, that's really not the way that I
like failed project. Yes.
Yeah.
And this is totally not about this. I think like you gave a fantastic insight, and it also makes total sense that you do all this plant-based. This is not like, okay, we're vegan here, but it totally makes sense, the whole approach, everything. Like, I think you gave a great insight. Thank you so much. And yeah, so I'm really excited to see you in Bulgaria.
Yeah, I look forward to being back. I haven't been there for quite a while, actually. It's been quite a few years. So
okay.
looking forward to some what is it? Not Lepetitsa? No, what is it? A little bit like Ivar. What's the Bulgarian version of Ivar?
I just tried tarator, the soup. They gave me the recipe because I didn't know about Bulgarian cuisine, and they talked about tarator, and I tried. It's the yogurt with cucumbers and.
Yeah, I'm vegan, so very much, but not.
But there is like milk options as well, like vegan.
You can make some dairy-free, options. Yeah.
And can you make yogurt from it?
Yeah. Sure. You can make yogurt from many things.
Yes, I think you can make the tarator soup with vegan yogurt and cucumbers.
If I'm honest, I don't do all of these vegan fake foods. For the simple reason, I grow what I grow, and then I work out how do I cook those. I don't need to replace like for like. I don't need a fake meat. I don't need milk and yogurt. I just don't need. So I don't need to. I used to, back in the 30 years ago when I went vegan, I learned how to make my own soya milk, how to make my own rice milk. Nowadays, I just don't. I just don't need them. I can make dosa. I can make so many things from the stuff that I have that I don't need to go through all this extra process and, and then buy even worse, processed foods that have again lost their energy, lost just because I want that taste, that flavor. That's not how I am. No, I will just use whatever I have to see, how do I make really good food from this? How do I make really nice, simple food that my body can digest? The other thing is I also talk about, because I'm a qualified homeopath and a naturopath, I work with, I understand nutrition and diet and what have you. So we can also talk about that and talk about how the majority of the way in which the world prepares its meals is really inconsistent with what actually really feeds us, which is why we have to eat way more than we do. And so we can talk about that. How is it that we actually give our body food in such a way that we take all of the minerals and all of the nutrients out of it, so we don't end up being bloated, we don't end up having gas, we don't end up, so we can eat the minimal amount of food and really be full of energy. And
this is actually what the young people are looking for right now. So there are social media trends on TikTok. They're into fiber maxing and, fiber-rich and protein-rich foods that are really basic vegetables that they just, like a cabbage, and then they do all sorts of recipes with it that they just rediscover. Like the real young people on TikTok is fun. So they naturally know, okay, this is a good food, actually, cabbage, but there's a whole hype. They make a whole hype out of it on TikTok, and I think they don't really know why they like it, like simple food.
How is it actually grown? How is it grown? How do you know that it's full of those minerals? Because a lot of the science for saying a carrot has this amount of this vitamin, that vitamin, came 100 years ago when the food growing process was very, 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 very different. It doesn't match the modern day food. So if they're basing it on old science,
Yes, yeah. So this is great to also learn from your experience, like to how to prepare this food and stick to the food that is there. Like, and this will be great to learn about this as well, because this probably also, like, this is decades of experience you had to like really think about your food. And as a homeopath, like you said, and with the permaculture design background and just inherently a thinker, this will be great to learn from you as well.
The other thing is I'm also a reggae DJ. So when you mention my name, Rakesh Rootsman Rak, Rootsman Rak is actually my DJ name. So
awesome.
You like a little bit of reggae, we can have a little reggae party as well. So have some fun.
Extra fun. This sounds great. Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. And then we'll see each other in Bulgaria.
Wonderful. Okay. Take care.
Have a great evening. Bye.